Okay, so breakfast this morning's a little bit different. So what I've started doing as well, I always mix it up. Everything's different depending on what's going on, but this is the basis and this is what should be done for most people just for general health and well-being, from a point of view that first thing in the morning you are very insulin sensitive and you have a lot of stomach acid, so it's such a good idea to detox as well, but to have a really good uptake of good minerals that will actually get absorbed well, because a lot of times if you are doing a lot of exercise or you train actually a lot, and if you have heavy meals at night or throughout the day, a lot of times people are not hungry actually in the morning. You know, so if you can get a really good uptake of some really good superfoods, electrolytes, veggies and fats, you'll do really well. So with the Himalayan salt, extremely good. So it's a salt that comes out of the mountains. It's been circulating through the hills in the mountains of water through thousands of years. So the salt is extremely good for you in that sense. Won't go into it too much. There's potassium. Now I've boiled water. This is the other thing. So with normal tap water I put in there and you boil it, it actually amplifies, depending on what's in the watering system, which a lot of us don't know, you'd have to test it, but there can be a lot of heavy elements like, say, mercury, for example. So MSM, methyl sulfonyl methane, actually helps to flush out mercury out of the body. So you can have some tap water, but when you do it in a jug, it just amplifies it. But I have that just to make sure it just can flush out some mercury if that happens. Now I'm actually going back to the doctors this afternoon to see what heavy elements are floating around in my body and see how that's all going. So, and I started using, with really almost everything now, boiling hot water to actually help absorb everything. And because salt of any kind tastes disgusting to drink, it's horrible. It doesn't even matter what you mix it with, you can still taste it. But, and interestingly enough, in hot water, it's actually really bearable, which is good. I've got another one here which is full of, so your calcium, your broccoli sprout. Now, this one's a really good one, the Life Stream. So it's got spirulina, chlorella, and barley grass in it. So spirulina, massive for iron and antioxidants and nutrients. Barley grass is pretty much more or less the same. Chlorella is another good detox for the body. And vitamin C. So vitamin C and calcium together, they actually help to absorb other minerals. And buying this like that on its own, I've got all the spirulina, chlorella and barley grass on their own in big supplements. It's actually cheaper buying it like that in big ones, but every now and then I just use that. So that's that. So you can have all these really together. And then you just so simple. Tomato, carrot, cucumber, fats, flaxseed oil tablets I'll probably have first thing in the morning. I find it's better if you have more fats to initiate your fat hormone as well. Get some insulin coming out as well, and then you get a better uptake of nutrition. So you don't always have to have, with an insulin spike, you get a better absorption because more insulin comes out and it goes, oh sweet, there's something in there, so I'm going to take it and take it up through my bloodstream. But it's not in there, so it actually takes up all this other stuff really well. So that's just another little thing for you. Tomatoes, they're from a mate of mine, I've known for a long time now, from Carlos Gala. And green beans again, I'm addicted to them. Anything green I seem to be extremely addicted to. You can chuck in as well a lot of things like, so the green capsicums. So, okay, another really good thing what people forget to do, I find a lot better with whey protein. So this is an organic one. Put it in the fridge, definitely, is a really good idea. And another good tip, what people forget to realise, is summertime. Even when they say, you know, with most things, you know, once it goes above 30 and all that, it'll start to go off and all that. I mean, it's very true, but I find it doesn't even need to be 30 for most things, and they'll get really, really bad. So you always want to be safe than sorry. People always ask me when they see this, is this beer or is this alcohol? What to do in the fridge? I go, no, it's not beer, it's not alcohol. This is from a mate. The last one I had, it made me actually quite sick, but or maybe I had an allergic reaction to it. It's got a lot of spices and chills in it, but it's all natural. He home brewed it himself, yeah, I'll give it to the next person that maybe really wants it. So it's not alcoholic. There's no alcohol in it. What's the point, eh? And your kefir, the same again. Now, fridge temperature is really important, making sure all the time that the fridge is actually, it's a pretty boring fridge, but very simple, is cold, maybe a little bit colder than normal. Okay, so I'll wrap it up. I went over a lot of things, but, you know, so things in hot water help to dissolve everything better that is micronized type thing. Glycation going again first thing in the morning, so really good nutritional uptake, and then that just on top with fats, extremely good. So fats can, you know, fats for inflammation, fat loss, decreasing arthritis, brain function, so many things. Your omega-3s are so important, and with your omega-3s, so this is the other thing with a lot of nuts people have. So a lot of your nuts, you got to think, if you can think of anything as dense and solid, the more dense and solid it is, the more stomach acid and insulin has to be involved to help break it down and transport it around the body. That's not what you don't want. So anyone that's maybe a nutritionist, naturopath, or in some other area will know that if you soak your nuts and your seeds overnight or for many hours and then mush, that's great, beautiful. It's like when you cook things, you know, it's like when you cook rice. It's the same sort of thing. If you were to just eat rice, well, you'd need a shitload of water and a lot of stomach acid and all that stuff. So it's the same principle. So if you can soak everything and then eat it once it's really soft, you get a much better uptake. And also a lot of especially almonds, I can't think of any others at the moment, but they have that, their shell, that flaky stuff that you can sort of peel off on an almond. So what I will show you then is this stuff. So on the almonds themselves, where there is, yeah, all that brown stuff, so you can peel that off. That is actually really bad for your the wall of your stomach and intestinal tract. It's like sort of sandpaper a bit. So little things like that can damage you. Very important to remember. So just little things to consider. And a lot of nuts are really good. Almonds, cashews, walnuts for acetylcholine. Acetylcholine in the brain is a neurotransmitter that's like, say, rocket scientists or maybe lawyers or doctors, really smart people. Maybe they have an overproduction of that. But that's good. You know, they're just A-type personality. They know a lot. They'll absorb a lot. They'll be really smart in so many ways. Maybe not the best people to talk to in the world, depending. But, so with that, it's good for that. It helps to amplify that. But nuts, on the other hand, have a lot of fats in them and all that. And then if, you know, for women, I don't think it's a great idea. I mean, they're so great for you and all, which is good, but you really need to soak them. There's so many things that are good that are not good if you're trying to do a certain thing. So if you want to do something that's really good, soak it. Say nuts, you soak it. Or the other thing is what you can do in some supermarkets or health food stores, they have the almond nuts, cashew nuts, walnuts, Brazil nuts, things like that that are actually in their liquid form, like peanut butter, smooth, all that. So that's an even better way to go. And then you just look on the back and look for the amount of fats that's in each one. Take your pick, and instead of just chucking a handful of that to maybe a teaspoon of that fat, what would you prefer? That would be better. I don't know the exact, maybe what other stuff's been taken out of the nuts compared to what's in the teaspoon type thing, but I'd say the equal nutritional value would be probably the same, I'm guessing. So I prefer that, and it's going to be a lot, food. So that would be a lot safer, and see how you go, because there's always ways around saving your gut. It's so important for so many reasons. The gut and the brain are as one. Without that, you will just feel off in so many ways. I know from experience as well, and everything I've read and talked to with people and they've experienced, when you get tested, you can find out certain things. it's endless what goes on, and if those two aren't in sync together, the mind, body, soul, yeah, you fall apart. Yeah, and this is why people go on medications. I'm dealing with a guy friend at the moment, and stuff he's going through and all that, and it's pretty full on. So I'm sending him off to get a bunch of tests before he goes on medications, because once you're on them, like for example with serotonin, they got like 22 different receptor sites. You know, medications can hit, I don't know everything about them or what areas they all hit, but they can hit certain ones and bring them back in line. We hopefully in all our areas, noradrenaline, acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, melatonin, everything, we just hope that we're born with all the receptor sites and stuff in a nice, even, straight line, but it doesn't happen like that. So you can get tests, you know, and then far out tests where they put stuff on your head and put a dye through you and see what's going on and how many things are firing and what's not, or what you've got an overproduction of. But a lot of people don't do that, and they just, you know yourself best in life and what makes you tick and go and all that stuff, so that's very important. So find out what's going on, get all the tests done to make sure. I know it costs, which is not the best, but in the end, your life, your future, to get through life and do everything well and be happy in everything you do is so important. So sorry for the long video again, but just trying to get more stuff out there so people can understand things, and yeah, cheers.